Hey, everybody, welcome into the podcast. We are day one of SEMA 2022 in the books. Whew. Man, what a day, Keith. What a day, Keith. What a day, Keith, right? How many miles?
Sorry, I confused Jay in the beginning, everybody. I gave you the curveball signal, but I did it underneath the table.
Oh, did you?
I was asking for the curveball.
Oh, did I mess that up?
No, I messed that up.
Oh, you messed
right.
that up. Okay. Well,
Yeah, almost done. I mean, they're almost done. We got a whole bunch of videos to edit.
We're going to continue on. We're going to get this content out tonight, tomorrow, so you guys can watch this stuff. Day one in the books was pretty amazing.
That's the South Hall behind us. By the way, guys, if you are just starting in on this with us this week, we are at SEMA 2022 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Oh, and by the way, we're doing something new this year. Jay and I are sitting in these Helinox chairs. These are the cafe chairs. And we have our mix board here sitting on the table one.
Table one.
Now, a couple interesting things. We have some friends at Helinox, and a shout out to Ezra in particular. This kind of is we're endeavoring into the overlanding crowd. Like, we're trying to get into, we're fans of it. We're starting to produce more content for it. And we reached out to Helinox and we said, hey, we're interested in your products. We're going to do some camping stuff. And they went, you know what, you guys, first thing we want to tell you is anything can happen in Vegas, as you saw right there. And second, that is not a fair classification for the Helinox product. So they are really more take with you anywhere chairs.
Absolutely. Event chairs.
Yeah. And
they're
so
event chairs.
Jay and I started thinking about it, and we were like, well, these things are super lightweight. They're super easy to put together.
Packed right on our backpacks.
Let's take them to the show, and we've got our own chairs.
Yep.
Instead of trying to steal other people's tables and chairs. So that's what we did. Now, we like this so much, we bought these with our own money. We are not being paid by Helinox. Like, they didn't give us these chairs. We went out and bought them. But we did work out a partnership with Helinox, and we will get you guys the link if you are interested in the products that we were using here. Now, I will say that the cafe chairs sit higher than a lot of their other chairs.
We prefer those. We didn't want to be on close to the ground for this event. But if you are at an event like, say, a outdoor amphitheater where it's a grassy area,
well, they have a sloped chair.
They have a sloped chair that you can use. So you just need to go to helinox.com and take a look at that. But actually, you can go to partscounterguru.com and, like Keith just said,
we'll put some links. We'll
put some links in the video, and you can buy these chairs.
And we're not done with that. Like, we're gonna do some videos. We've got Rothmeyer involved. We're gonna kick the tires on these things, so to speak. But it was a nice sort of, hey, let's see what we can work out here. So you guys can tell we are literally outside in the lot.
We're in the lot. This is where the build section is, where they invite people who build their vehicles in. We just talked to a gentleman over there. He built a Chevy Cobalt. He's from Canada. Drove 1,800 miles in to be here. They're all over the place, and as you can see behind us here too, there's a Rivian R1T sitting there. There's Rivians everywhere here, actually. We told you that last night. Yeah, right there. But anyway, so exactly. We had a very full day, guys. That did not come without having a few snags. Keith and I put in a few extra miles today for some power cord issues that we had.
Now, this is the podcast, so we can get into a little bit more of that because we have more time than we would have on a YouTube video segment. So, let's start at the top. First of all, if you're not following us over on socials, particularly YouTube and Facebook, we're doing a lot of streaming there. We're throwing all kinds of video content there. YouTube.com/PartsCounterGurus. I'm going to mess this one up. Facebook.
Facebook is Facebook.com/PartsCounterGurus.
Okay.
Instagram, however, is Instagram.com/ThePartsCounterGurus. You can follow us over on Twitter. We are our handle is @TheCounterShow.
And we're actually also putting some live streams on Twitter, believe it or not. We figured out how to do that.
We are. So, and then make sure you go to youtube.com/PartsCounterGuru, or you can go to just PartsCounterGuru.com, and you can get to any of those platforms.
So back to the drama at hand. We edit video on the fly, and I have a laptop, and overnight has started having some weird power issues where the power supply would not charge. Like it would sit there and ding, 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 and we're like,
Yes.
oh, that's not good.
This is not good.
So you got no power to the laptop, you got no way to edit the video. So anyway, quick trip to the Apple store today at Caesar's Palace, and that
added,
seems to be
5 miles to our day.
Well, there was a couple beers involved. So the very first press release, which started the minute that the hall opened at 9 a.m.
Yep.
Was by Volkswagen, who is back for the first time in a while. It's one of the best pressers I've ever seen.
Yeah, and you were very excited. I was not there. I was staging because they had the Toyota press event starting the moment the VW press event ended.
And they weren't in the same hall.
Weren't in the same hall. So I had myself positioned. Keith came over and we covered both of them. However, the Toyota press event was not as good as we thought it could have been.
Yeah, so I'm gonna comment on that, but first, how long are you gonna let me sit here with these headphones on before you point out that I forgot to take my headphones?
They look good on you, pal.
All right, let me take these off. So didn't
know if you were still into sound dropping or not.
It's a style thing, man.
Yeah.
So they had Tanner Faust, and the delivery, the products that they brought, some of them were, I wouldn't even call them prototypes or concepts. There was a little bit of concepting going on.
Right.
Like, for example, they worked out a vehicle with the Tennessee Valley Authority, with TVA. That's pretty cool. Now, we've got that video. That's in a separate video. We'll get it for you. You have to be subscribed. But we'll get into the details of that presser.
Live TV, people.
Yeah. By the way, that's not the unlock button. Just make sure you're subscribed and you'll have access to that video as soon as it comes out. But just the delivery. Tanner was walking around talking. There was no cue cards. There was no stumbling. It was very natural. He knows what he's talking about.
Yes.
He's been involved with the Volkswagen people for a while. And then we went over to I met you over at the Toyota presser.
Right.
And Rutledge Wood, Tanner's old partner from TV, was helping with that one, and Toyota's was so scripted. The jokes were scripted. It was uncomfortable.
It was not. Yes, it was not organic at all.
Right.
It was very forced. It was not polished at all. And
Rut was walking around with cue cards,
right.
looking up on the monitor, checking the cards, checking the teleprompter.
Yeah.
And Toyota had a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That they.
Well, on the TRD side, the off-roading, they had a reveal, and look, again, you can, if you make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Parts County Gurus, and you'll see these press events, and you'll see some of the videos about what we are talking about here today that we will be releasing here throughout this week. So make sure you're subscribed to that and hit the notification bell so you'll know when those things get released. But the things that they were talking about or revealing were actually not vehicles that you or I could go and purchase today. It's just, they're just not available. They're concept vehicles. We get what they're doing. They're cool and everything, but just on the Toyota performance side as far as that goes. But the off-roading or the overlanding side, I think they hit that out of the park with what they revealed.
Oh, well, they usually do.
Yeah, and it was a Toyota Tundra concept vehicle. It was the Trail Boss or something. I forget. It was
insane.
It was insane.
And they
just
did an
watch the
announcement
video.
that they are going to, and they even said from the ground up, spend time building for the Overland crowd.
Yes.
They're going to be factory, OEM, Overland built, purpose built for Overland vehicles. Toyota today made that commitment. So that was interesting. That was one of the big positives of that press event.
Absolutely. I thought so too. It was a short one too, which kind of helped us out because we were kind of juggling some scheduling with that, so that worked out for us. But again, make sure you go to our YouTube channel and check those segments out when we get them released. So
let's point out where Toyota did their booth is in Ford's old location.
Ford's old booth location, and so Ford not here. They pulled out. GM not here. However, did we miss them?
I don't think people did.
I don't think they did either.
So we were worried that, the turnout would be lower. You've got two big heavies that potentially aren't there. You've got, potentially space that's not being used, and a lot of the vendors, and they have to shuffle all those spots around,
right,
fill the room. They've got more vendor attendance here this year than I've seen in the past 4 years.
I'd say so. Yeah, I'd say so. I think they're heavy this year. I think this show is busier this year than it was even in 2019.
Yeah, well, they're using more space.
Absolutely.
So I would agree with that as well.
The whole West Hall, guys. It used to only be a segment of the overlanding. It's now turned in the entire hall. Everywhere you look is overlanding. So if you have the opportunity to get to SEMA next year, oh my goodness.
Or this year, there's still 2 days left.
You can buy tickets on Friday night. They call it SEMA Ignited. They do welcome the public in. It costs you a little money. I think it's around $90 a ticket to get in, but that's a fun thing to see if you want to see some of the vehicles that are still around. They have a lot of fun with that. They've got beers for sale and all the beverages, all the food, and all that kind of stuff for sale. So Anyway, just make sure you go to SEMA.com for that, and you can find all that information out and buy tickets. But outside of that, we had, there's a lot of Fords and GMs around in some of these booths that are represented. Broncos still lead the way in SUVs out here, wouldn't you say? There's more, outside of Jeep.
In terms of number of actual vehicles here to represent, I'd still the winner is Bronco, which is weird because there's still a shortage. You know?
There's still a shortage. They can't fill orders, man. So,
including one special one that we this is another video segment that we will get out.
Mm-hmm.
There was the SEMA Business Women's Network, SBN, did a build, and it was a Bronco.
Yes.
And that was really cool. It was an all-women built vehicle, and it was a pretty large group of contributors, and you can tell they all had fun doing the project.
They did. They all had huge smiles on their face. They should be very proud. It was an awesome build. We'll have a segment out on our YouTube channel. We'll bring that to you as well. Go check them out. That's the SBN, which is, again, like he said, the SEMA Business Women's Network, all-female build. And we had the luxury of being on the monorail this morning with one of the ladies that was involved with that group. However, she was not at this particular reveal. She had a reveal earlier in the day, and we didn't get to that one. And we apologize if you're watching this. And thanks for talking to us this morning. Anyway, but then we had Keith and I took a little walk around outside. And we wanted to come out for where Ford used to be out here, and you got a huge Hoonigan presence. I mean, they're doing burnouts, man. They're drifting. They're doing all this stuff just right out here. Then you've got eBay Motors, the presence of eBay. It is eBay Motors, right?
Yeah, it's eBay Motors, and they're making a huge push in the automotive industry. And people think, well, they're just used cars. They're selling parts also now. eBay's been somewhat troubled in recent years on the non-motor side, right? Like used merchandise,
absolutely.
Whatever, new merchandise.
Yes, absolutely.
eBay started as kind of a flea market mindset, and they've tried really, really hard to never let people acknowledge that. They try to compete with Amazon and some other stuff. But
so they come in with a little bit of a black eye from some of this.
Yeah.
But they do have a huge presence here. eBay Motors and Hoonigan dominated this lot.
So the Hoonigan thing. So Ken Block has quite the enterprise going on. Things went quiet for him for about a year when the partnership with Ford came to an end. The contract was up.
Right.
And we all thought, well, I thought, is that the last we heard of him? He's been really busy, and that business enterprise that he's got going on is big.
It is huge. Here's what's funny about that. When he parted ways with Ford, that was just an end of contract. It was not an ugly divorce or anything like that. It was just an end of contract. And everybody speculated, well, what is he going to do next? And Keith and I on the podcast said we think that he may go all electric. And lo and behold, what did he do?
Oh, the electric Audi Hoonatron is what they call it.
Yeah.
Videos are running everywhere up here on big screens, and they released that video I'm sure purposely the week before SEMA.
Absolutely, it's Electricana.
And if you haven't seen that video, it's ridiculously
go Google
amazing.
Electricana. You'll find it, or just Google him. Ken Block. Just go Google Ken Block electric Audi, and you'll find it. Trust me. And we speak of the electrified side of it is because we're excited about what we have going on coming up tomorrow. We have a scheduled podcast with Optima Batteries, who has a huge presence here. The silver lot, the
pretty
bronze
cool
lot.
surprises.
Right. They've got over here in the bronze lot. They've got a neat array of builds.
Let me get my finger on the beep button in case you go ahead.
Yeah. They have a neat array of builds over there, including one that I found very fascinating. They have a hydrogen internal combustion engine resto mod, and we will talk about that tomorrow. We're going to be talking with Jim with Optima Batteries. They had a product release. We'll let him talk a little bit about that. They've got some exciting things. They've got a couple of Rivians sitting over there for a specific reason, and we'll talk a little bit about that more tomorrow in that podcast. So make sure you again are subscribed to our podcast as well as our YouTube channel, because we will have a live feed there. So youtube.com/Parts Kind of Gurus. Now, what else did we have going on? Oh, our guys over in the Overland Expo area. We got Skinny Guy Campers we're going to be podcasting with as well tomorrow.
Yeah, that's actually really, I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, and
we got to look at it today. That's why I'm excited.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. You got to stay tuned for that one. It's pretty neat. We're pretty excited to be able to bring this to you guys exclusively. There's a story behind it. Jason Bontrager, I believe is how we pronounce his name. Donovan over there, as well as our friend Justin is over there. His wife is around as well. They are heavy Overlanders. So we'll be talking with all of those folks tomorrow and bringing you an exclusive. But Jason comes from the Jayco family, and we'll talk about that in that podcast tomorrow, and hopefully he'll get into some detail with that. He's not with Jayco anymore. They sold to Thor or something like that. And
I was actually looking at one of his former family company products on their drivable side. It was in their luxury line. So
absolutely, great stuff. Anyway, we're excited to bring that to you tomorrow. We'll bring a lot more overlanding stuff too that we're not talking about right this moment, because as we are walking through these halls, we are talking to people who are interested in showcasing their product. So you have to stay tuned, because we might come up with a few surprises for you while we're here this week.
So I want to mention this one more time. We mentioned this on our previous live stream. I will mention it here and probably one more time after this. What do you guys want to see? Let us know. Hit us up over on Twitter. That's my preferred way to hear from you guys right now anyway, because it's one of the easiest ways. It's at The Counter Show. That's our Twitter handle. Although if you're if you don't have Twitter and you're on Facebook Jay
or
can
YouTube,
Jay monitors that more than I do. We want to know what you want to see. So go to semashow.com. I think that's the website.
Yep.
Look at the vendors list, and if there's somebody that you want us to do an interview with, to get you a look in the booth, at the product, at the build, whatever it is, send us a message, preferably on Twitter at The Counter Show, but also on Facebook, and let us know, and we'll take a look at those requests and see what we can't work out. The clock's ticking. You got about 24 hours to get back to us, so everybody get busy. Go hit the website.
That's it. So, well, I guess all in all, guys, that's a wrap from day one of SEMA Show 2022 here in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. This is an exciting town, and it's an exciting time of year for the city of Las Vegas every year. We're glad to be a part of it, and we're glad we're able to make you a part of it when you can't make it here. So make sure you subscribe again to our YouTube channels. Just go to www.partskindofguru.com, and you can find all that there. And we thank you very, very much for your support for both of us. Want to close this out?
Yeah, just before we wrap quickly, because that beer's not going to drink itself.
No.
I just want to mention, if you're seeing this on the video side, go make sure, if you want the long-form podcasts, partscounterguru.com, click on the podcast links tab. It's near the top. and you can find all the audio versions there, so you can ride your one wheel down the street like we saw today and listen to the podcast.
Yeah, just listen to the podcast. Yeah. Put your AirPods in and move along.
So until next time, which is going to be blink your eyes and we'll be back, everybody.
Right.
But until then, that's my pal Jay over there. I'm Keith. We're coming at you live from SEMA all week, and we will see you on the next video. And take care, guys.